Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So tonight's video is a real quick video update for you guys. Well, at least my thoughts on things. So I just got finished watching the State of the Union address, and we're not going to go into that, guys. I mean, I don't mean to laugh. The whole thing is very serious. I do want to point out a couple of things, not on the political level. One is that, let's get Russia and Ukraine out of the way here. Let's get that topic going. The fact is that we're seeing our administration, our president, talking about the sanctions and the things that they're going to be doing against Vladimir Putin and the elite cronies they've got over there. They're celebrating that they've crushed the rubles. It's like a 30% drop on that, which, guys, does not hurt Putin. What that does is hurt the civilian population and the economy that they're relying on there in Russia. That's what that does. So what I'm expecting to see, so I'm expecting to see the Russian people fighting out against their own government, causing conflict there, because let's face it, the dollar drops, people are hungry, they're going to be acting out. What I expect from all this to happen is that these actions towards Russia is going to cause an effect from Russia as far as more aggressive behavior. Now, when it comes to nuclear war, guys, I've been trying to stay away from this one because the fact is I don't know what the man's thinking as far as Russia. I don't. Anybody that says they do, they're guessing. That's all I can do is guess. I can put myself in the same position. This is about the best I can do. As far as what's going on with Ukraine, guys, I believe Russia's there. I already talked about that. My context says we got conflict going on there. How in depth is the conflict? I don't know. We don't have that information. The information that we get is just all MSM, mainstream media. We have no idea what's the truth out of these people. So I question all of that. No, I'm not pro-Russia at all. I am seeing more and more of that on the comments of people. They are pro-Putin because they never supported Biden. Let me go ahead and remind you people about who Putin is. Ex-KGB with, by the way, linked murders to the man. This is some of this as an actual murderer, by the way, guys. But, you know, y'all rather support communism. Wow. So one of the biggest things I picked up off the State of the Union address was how firm we were to defend NATO, NATO's allies, the territory of NATO. My concern, especially with these airspace shutdowns and stuff, guys, all it takes is one Russian fighter jet to cross airspace that's held by NATO. They've closed down airspaces and stuff. And all it takes is one. Well, that gives NATO the right to fire upon that. Now we just open up a whole new can of worms. And I believe this whole conflict is to lead up to something larger. That's what I believe. You don't have to believe me. These are my thoughts on this. But I believe this is designed to be a bigger war. I've said that from the very beginning. If they go into Ukraine, it was going to spill out into something bigger. I've talked about how NATO could not get in there yet. Close down airspace, especially fighter jets flying over and stuff. It doesn't take much to cross airspace. It happens like that. If you're talking several hundred miles an hour, you're hitting stuff. You're crossing things. This is what I think is going to happen. I think this is what's going to cause bigger scale conflict. On top of the economic strain that is now being put on Russia, I believe this is what's going to pop it all off. Now, do I think nuclear will happen? Guys, I don't know. Let's get back on that. I don't know. We've talked about nuclear fallout and stuff, protection before on the channel. There should be a pop-up there for you guys. We did that a couple years back. Same rules still apply. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nuclear scientist or whatever it is that studies radiation. I'm not. All I can do is read stuff on. Sorry guys, we had a gremlin in the camera again. So I can read stuff online and I can research stuff, and that's it. This is one of the reasons why I posted Canadian Prepper's video earlier today on the community post here on the channel. He was covering radiation and he had one of his guests, I believe it was Dr. Bones, I could be wrong what doctor that was, but is an actual doctor. That's the information I try to gravitate towards, actual people in their fields, like Canadian Prepper had there. you're able to actually learn about radiation, what type of protection you can do, what type of symptoms you can be seeing if someone's exposed to a certain type of radiation. That's why we post stuff like that here. One of those individuals that reads a forum and runs like an expert. Let me tell you about what I know, guys. I'm not that type of person. If I don't know, I'm going to say, hey man, I don't know. This is just my thoughts. And most of this is just our thoughts. I can look at things from a military aspect and go, okay, this is what I would do. Doesn't mean that's going to happen. But the fact is, there is a threat of nuclear war. We are pushing against Russia. I don't know what's going on with Russia. I'm not there in Russia. All I can see is that we are pushing. Eventually, two things keep on butting together. There's going to be a spark. And when that happens, I pray to God it's not nuclear. But the fact is, it's on the table. Okay? Now I've seen the comments, it's mutual destruction. No one would ever use it. Hey guys, tactical nukes, EMP blast, knocking out part of the military or put the country in the dark. And I've spoke on that many times, of knocking out a country before we get to fight. Russia has hypersonic missiles. Russia has a lot of submarines. Russia has nuclear capabilities. Russia also has EMP weapons. So guys, with a nuclear threat, as far as I know, we're still in DEFCON 3. As far as the world is concerned, if you go to the website, it says a general DEFCON 2 across all the states. You know, kind of compile it back down. But the United States is DEFCON 3. We teamed up with MIRA Saftey a while back. We have CBRN equipment, the gas mask, the suits, all that stuff, guys. And I'm not here to sell you anything. The reason I bring it up is because they're good quality material. I mean, our links would take you to their website. We're affiliated with them, but if you look at the website, guys, you can find discount codes and stuff like that usually on the website. Sometimes they have 10% off, sometimes they have more. Just depends on what's going on. Before we got with MIRA, we were using Amazon and military surplus stores. We were getting these things, gas masks with a filter for about 20 bucks. And that changed right before, or right at the beginning of the pandemic. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, everything shot up. The same mask and filter I was purchasing and stockpiling up, they're like 70 bucks a pop now, if they're even available anymore. I haven't checked in like 4 months. So for about $81 for MIRA's top of the line filter, you know, it's a good filter, but everything went up everywhere in preparedness level. Guys, I do recommend getting some type of protection. I really do. We're preppers for a reason. We prepare things. It's not just stockpiling food. Stockpiling food is definitely a big part of prepping, absolutely. Same with purification of water, bottled water, things like that. Guys, if something was to go off and nuclear radiation was to get into the streams, the water source, things like that, you're going to need bottled water. I mean, we've covered that before a long time ago, stockpiling bottles of water and things like that. Rain barrel systems and stuff, if a nuclear blast goes off, you better make sure that stuff is covered up, because if that debris gets in your rain barrels and stuff, yeah, not good. So having bottles of water, canned food, things like that, radiation debris falls on it from fallout, you just wash it off. It's been proven that that will be fine. But now if particles go into your canned food or your water, that's where you run into an issue, because if you consume it, then it becomes part of your body, and that causes radiation, poisoning, tumors, cancer, and all that stuff later on. So canned goods, canned goods, vacuum sealed dry goods. That's why you always see me vacuum sealing rice, pasta, all that stuff. It's all vacuum sealed. Nothing's getting through that barrier. I can easily just wash it off, and it's still safe to eat. So something you guys should be working on is vacuum sealing up your food. If it's canned good, you're good. If it's like pasta in a box and stuff like that, go ahead and vacuum seal that stuff up now. If something was to happen, you don't want your food preps getting screwed up. You don't. Now, there are things that you can talk about as far as plasticking up your windows and stuff like that. You guys have seen that. We've done videos on that in the past and stuff. That's if you're in an area and you cannot leave your area and you got fallout coming towards you. I've talked about using wind maps, okay? Learning how your annual winds move in your area. You can do a simple Google search or DuckDuckGo search, whatever one you prefer, and look up the annual wind maps of your area. And that way, if there is a nuclear event, you can kind of gauge as to what you need to do. All right, is letting you know where the stuff's coming. So there are ways of having a plan for preparedness on this. Now granted, if you took a direct nuclear hit, okay, Hopefully you kissed your ass goodbye before it happened, because that's pretty much what's going to happen. But people have survived nuclear attacks. Look at Japan. They had 2 dropped on them. People still survived. You have a blast, you have a blast radius, you have a fallout radius. Okay, and you do have radioactive flumes. Just depends on how it goes and things like that, with the wind blowing debris. Okay, ground zero is the dangerous spots. All right, the debris field is also a dangerous spot, but the rest of the areas are going to be fine as long as it's not being contaminated by it. I see it all the time online. If there's a nuke battle happen, kiss your ass goodbye, give up, you won't survive. BS. You can survive. There's many ways. There's people have survived this stuff. I don't think we're going to see a full nuclear war back to back, you know, throwing nukes nonstop at each other. I don't think we are. Now, if we did, okay, shit happens. We all got nuked. There's still going to be people survive. It's not going to kill every single man, woman, and child. It's going to kill a lot of people. Sure it will. It won't kill everybody. Do I think I will be the one that survived? How the hell would I know? I don't do forecasts. I don't know if they're going to drop a nuke here. And you don't know where they're going to plant target. I know they're going to be planting targets at major military bases and stuff like that, of course. But to wrap it up, don't give up. Always keep on prepping. Don't give up. Even when I don't understand this. This is the big one here. As soon as shit hits the fan, I see comments, I give up. I would give up if this happened. I would give up if that happened. Why the hell are you prepping? That's my question. Why are you prepping if something happens and you're willing to just give up? So with everything going on, guys, there's nothing to get stressed out about, nothing to be screaming, hollering, crying the world's going to end. If the world's going to end, so be it. People still survive. You just keep prepping like you're doing right now. Don't run out and panic buy and stuff like that. Now, if you got holes in your preps and you know that you need a couple extra things to get that year's supply of stuff, hey, go get it. All right, go buy every single one they got. I do it all the time. I'll go in and say, you know what, I need 27 of such and such, just so I have a round number of what I got in stock. If they got 27 of them, I'm gonna go buy 27 of them. Sure, people might chastise me for it and all that other stuff. I don't care, because I'm taking care of my family. And that's what I care about. Alright, guys. Y'all take care. Speak to y'all later.